have another question on the board, and this aspect of the question we have is multiplication. Right now, yes, we are solving compound fractions with multiplication. Now guys, what do we do here? This is 4. We are asked to simplify. This happens to be question number 5, and we are asked to simplify 4 over 9 times 3 over 2. And guys, what do we do here? The first thing we do is to pull down our solution and have 4 over 9 times 3 over 2. And what do you do? There are 2 ways to solve multiplication. All right, compound fractions with multiplication. There are 2 ways to solve it. All right, first is to do what we call diagonal division. All right, you just cancel out diagonally, or you can multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and hence find the common factor. So in this way, we can first of all say, okay, 4 is divisible by 2 and 9 is divisible by 3. So somebody can say, okay, 2 divided itself is 1, then 2 into 4 is 2. Are you there, guys? Yes. Then now 3 into itself is 1, 3 into 9 is 3. So what do we have left? We are going to have 2 times 1 at the top, this 2 times this 1, all over 3 times 1. 3 times 1, and this would have given us 2 over 3. This is the answer to this particular question. All right, it's as simple as this. 2 divide itself 1, 2 into 4 2. Now 3 divide itself 1, 3 into 9 3. All we need to do, multiply the what? The remainder. 2 times 1, that's what we have here. 2 times 1, then 3 times 1, that's why we have add the denominator 3 times 1. Now 2 times 1, guys, is 2, and 3 times 1 is 3. Then another person can say, no, I don't want to do it like this, I just want to do direct multiplication. So from here, let's look at that. This will have given us 4 over 9 times 3 over 2. Or this is another method another person can choose to use. Are you there? Another person can choose to use this particular method. What do you do here? You are simply going to have 4 times 3 over 9 times 2. And 4 times 3, guys, is 12. And this would have given us 12 over 18. Guys, the next thing you are simply going to do here is to find a particular factor, a number that can divide both 12 and 18. And that particular number that can divide a highest factor that can divide it. Of course, 2 can divide 12 and 18. 3 can divide 12 and 18. 4 can divide 12 or cannot divide 18. But 6 can divide both 12 and 18 as well. So 6 is the highest factor that can divide both 18 and 12. So when you divide 12 by 6, you are going to have 2. And when you divide 18 by 6, you are going to have 3. Guys, this is the answer to this question. Okay, now guys, we have example 6 on the board. And we are asked to simplify 3 whole number 1 over 3 times 7 whole number 1 over 2. Guys, what do we do? This is a mixed fraction. This is as very simple as it. And solution. And now we have 3 whole number 1 over 3 times 7 whole number 1 over 2. And guys, what do we do here? The first thing that we do here is to first convert these mixed fractions to what? Proper fraction. All right? How do we do that? We will simply multiply the whole number by the denominator plus the numerator. Is that correct? Yes. So 3 times 3, which will give us 9, and 9 plus 1, that would have given us 10 all over the denominator there times. The next thing we do is also to convert this other mixed fraction to what? An improper fraction. Hence, we are going to have the whole number times the denominator plus the numerator. Guys, hope this is very simple. Yeah. So we say 7 times 2, we are going to have 14. Now 14 plus 1, guys, that would have given us 15. Now we have 15 all over 2. So what do we do? Like I said, there are 2 ways to solving compound fraction with what? Multiplication. So you can choose to do diagonal division, or simply multiply the numerator, multiply the denominator, and hence find the common factor to both the numerator and the denominator. It's as simple as that. Anytime you have multiplication or division in between 2 fractions, there is no need to find L.C.M. So guys, you only find L.C.M. when you have plus or minus in between fractions. That's the only condition where you find L.C.M. Anything outside that, you don't find L.C.M. So for multiplication, you don't find L.C.M. All you need to do is either to do diagonal division or multiply numerator, multiply denominators, and find their common factor. Now, what do we do here? So we are going to have 2 can divide 10 to give us 5. 2 into itself is 1. First is to say 2 into itself is 1, and 2 into 10 is 5. Then 3 into itself is 1, and 3 into 15 is what? 5. So guys, at the numerator we are going to have 5 times 5, and at the denominator we are going to have 1 times 1. It's as simple as this. And what do we have here? 5 times 5, guys, is 25, and 1 times 1 is 1, and 25 divided by 1 is 25. This is the answer to this very question. The answer does not have a fraction, just a whole, complete whole number. Now, the other way around, like I said earlier, is another person can choose to have 10 times 5, 10 over 3 times 15 over 2. So you can choose to multiply the numerator using your calculator, which would have given us 10 times 115 all over. So you are now connecting them with one division. Then 3 times 2. You connected them with one division. Now what do? When we multiply the numerator, we are going to have 15 times 10, which is 150, and 3 times 2, we are going to have 6. And 115 is divisible by 6. So 150 divided by 6, you can use your calculator. We are going to have our answer as 25. So guys, whichever case you choose to solve a complex fraction with multiplication sign is best not to you, but understand that any of the method you use, you are going to have the same result. All right, so stay tuned. Now guys, we are going to dive into compound fractions with division sign as what? The connecting sign. All right, see you guys in the next video. Ensure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you have not done so, hit the notification bell so that anytime we release mind-blowing content, you will be notified. All right, and as well, ensure you like our videos and hence make your comment known to us so that we know where to improve on and how to satisfy you better. See you in the next class. Part fractions with division sign. Now on the board, we have the very question number 7. We are asked to simplify 14 over 33 divided by 35 over 22. Don't forget, this is the sign of division that we are using here. So what do? We put down our solution. Then we have 14 over 33 divided by what? 35 over 22. Guys, please, I want you to get a very good principle here. All right, pay close attention so that I will give you the principle that will help you to solve problems under compound fractions with division. What do you do here, guys? Here, now you will get to understand some basic principles. What are the basic principles? You cannot solve with division direct. Anytime you are giving a division between two fractions, you must convert that division to what? A multiplication sign by using the law of inversion. All right. Now, what's this law of inversion all about? Anytime you change a division sign to a multiplication sign in fraction, what you simply do is to invert the fraction that comes immediately after that division sign that you just changed to multiplication. Guys, pay close attention and watch what is going to happen here. Now, I don't need this division. I want to change this division to what? A multiplication using the law of inversion. All right, so using the law of inversion, I'm going to change this division sign to multiplication sign before I can solve this effectively. Now, how do I do this, guys? What I simply do is to put down the fraction before. Understand this. You will first of all put down the fraction before the sign. And what's the fraction before the sign? 14 over 33 comes before the sign. Now, this is the sign I want to change. So change it to multiplication. As now that you have changed it to the multiplication, all you need to do, invert the fraction that comes immediately after the sign you change. And now, how do we invert? This is our fraction. The denominator now becomes numerator, and the numerator becomes the denominator. Hope this is gotten, yes. So anytime you change a division sign to multiplication sign, you quickly invert the fraction that comes immediately after that division sign you change to multiplication. And how do you change it? How do you invert? You now turn it upside down, make the numerator the denominator and the denominator the numerator. You swap it. Yes, swapping. Hope you got that code. Swap the numerator and the denominator, or change their position. Are you there? Now, what do? Or simply find the reciprocal of what? The fraction that comes immediately after the division sign you change to multiplication sign. Now, guys, this is how it is done. Now, since you have understood this concept, then we can start solving the same way we solve every other thing we have here. Now, we are going to be treating it like compound fractions with what? Multiplication. Now, guys, At this point, like I said, you have the choice of either multiplying the numerator and multiplying the denominator, but I'm going to be using one method here now. I'm going to be using the what? Diagonal division, or yes, diagonal division. I'm going to be using the law of diagonal division. And how do I use the law of diagonal division? This and this, they are diagonally what? Arranged. Are you there? I will find what can divide 14 and as well divides 35. 2 cannot go, 3 cannot go. The common factor between 14 and 35 is 7. All right? Yes. So we simply say 14 divided by 7, we are going to have 2. And 35 divided by 7, we are going to have 5. We are done with that. All right. Now the next thing we do is to come to this other diagonal what? Figures. Now 33 and 22 have something in common. Of course, they do not have 2 in common. They do not have 3 in common. But 11 is the common factor between 22 and 33. So what do I do? I'm simply going to say 33 divided by 11, I'm going to have 3. And 22 divided by 11, I'm going to have 2. What do? I need to now join the numerators, join the denominator. So the first remainder I have at the numerator is 2 times. The next one is 2 all over. I bring them under one division sign. Then the first denominator here is 3. The other denominator here is 5. Now when I multiply 2 by 2, we're going to have 4. And when we multiply 5 by 3 or 3 by 5, guys, we have 15. Of course, this is our answer because 5 and 4 do not have any factor in common. And as well, the denominator is greater than the numerator. Hence, we stop at this very point. Now let's look at the next section of our board and look at question number 8. We are asked to simplify one whole number 3 over 5 divided by 2 whole number 2 over 15. Guys, we are solving these problems side by side. All right, just like a coin, tail and head. If you are not given the tail, you must be given the head. It is either you are given a tail or a head. So when we liken this first category to be the head, while this is the tail. So no matter how they turn it, you already have a way out of this, a way of escape. Now guys, let's go. You understand that the first thing you do to mix fraction is to convert them to improper fraction before you can do anything, right? Now we have that this is one whole number 3 over 5 divided by 2 whole number 2 over 15. Yes, we have 1 over 3 over 5, 1 whole number 3 over 5 divided by what? 2 whole number 2 over 15. Guys, what do we do here? The first is to convert this to fraction. And as well, you are going to have 1 times 5, the whole number times the denominator, then plus the numerator. So 5 times 1 is 5. 5 plus 3, we are going to have 8 over 5. Then divided by, we also need to convert the second fraction, which is a mixed fraction, to what? Improper fraction. Then we are going to have the whole number, which is 2, times the denominator, which happens to be 15, then plus the numerator, which happens to be 2. Now when we multiply 2 by 15, we are going to have 30. And 30 plus 2, that would have given us 32, guys. So this would have given us 32 all over 15. Now the next thing we do, guys, is that we know that at this point, what we have between these two fractions is what? Division. And we must change division to multiplication because before we can reduce this compound fraction to a simple fraction, yes, we must use the what? The law of inversion, converting a division sign to a multiplication sign before we can reduce this compound fraction to a simple fraction. How do we do that? We simply first of all pull down the first fraction, right? Now, this division sign, we change it to multiplication sign and then put our division sign. So what do? We now make the denominator a numerator and make the numerator denominator. This is the law of inversion. By changing division to multiplication and what? Swapping the numerator and the denominator of the fraction that comes immediately after the sign you change. Guys, hope this is gotten. Now the next thing we do here is to do our diagonal division, right? Yes, we're going to apply the law of diagonal division here. And how do we apply that? We look at the diagonal figures and see what is common between them. Of course, 8 is a factor of 32, all right? So that means 8 into itself is 1 and 8 into 32 is 4. Of course, guys, 8 times 4 is 32. Now the next is to also look at these other diagonal figures. Now 5 is a factor of 15. That means 5 into itself is 1 and 5 into 15 is 3. So what do? We need to now join the numerators together and join the denominators together with this multiplication sign. Then we are going to have the remainder here, which is 1, times 3 all over 1 times 4. And 3 times 1 would have given us what? 3. And 1 times 4 would have given us 4. Of course, guys, there is no common factor between 3 and 4. And as well, in as much as the denominator is greater than the numerator, we are on a safer side. This is a proper fraction. Hence, we are going to stop our solvings here. So the next thing we are going to do, guys, if you know you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, ensure you do that. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, like all our videos. With what we have solved so far now, I know the next thing we are going to do is to dive into complex fraction. But before we go into complex fraction, there is something I'm going to teach you, which you will see at the description below for the next video. Alright, see you guys